Good morning everyone and welcome to Friday Live here in the OHbaby office. It's so good to have you joining us, and it's great to have once again the wonderful Dorothy Waide with us this morning. Hello Dorothy.
Hi, how are you this morning, Ali?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good.
Yeah, I know, right? So we have taken a few weeks off Friday Live because we've been very busy at the OHbaby office getting our autumn issue off to the printer, and very exciting, yesterday it arrived. So we've got it in our hot hands, and you too can have this. If you're a subscriber, you should hopefully get your copy today or tomorrow in the mail, and if you're not, run out to the shops on Monday and it will be on sale. And we wanted to tell you about this issue. It's got a little bit of a gold theme happening. It's very pretty, and we have got a golden ticket giveaway, which is amazing. Your chance to win over $26,000 worth of prizes. Wow. Each issue has this card in it with a unique code, and you enter your unique code and you could win amazing prizes.
Fantastic.
Even some prizes from Dorothy Waide herself. You're giving away your books and some of your tutorial DVDs. So very exciting. So many amazing prizes. You have to get your hands on the latest issue of OHbaby, on sale on Monday.
Awesome.
Very
I can't
exciting.
wait.
And there's an amazing article from Dorothy in here about the importance of sleep, which is such a topic of concern for parents, isn't it?
It is. It's a topic that happens all the time.
Sneak preview.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Sleeping Beauty.
Gorgeous.
This is a great article about why it's so important for our babies to be sleeping, and how you can help them sleeping. But also, what I love about this article, it's okay. Adopt an it's okay mantra. So you've got some tips in there to help parents just feel better about that whole newborn season, sleep deprivation, just trying to juggle everything.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. And it's okay to just hang. It's okay to be in your PJs.
Stay in your pajamas.
It's okay not to answer the door.
Yeah.
It's actually okay to sit there and have a good cry with your baby.
Yeah.
It's okay to scream at someone. You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's what life with a newborn baby's about.
So good. Yeah. Just take care of baby and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So that's a great article in there. We're very excited. It's always so exciting when the issue hits the shops. You know, we put a lot of work into it and then send it to the printer, and then here it is.
It's probably like having a baby,
A little
isn't
bit
it?
like having a baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 times a year.
Yeah. Oh.
So what we are doing here on Friday Live, as we do every time, is you're welcome to ask questions. You can just comment underneath the video that you can see there on your Facebook feed. Fire away, ask us a question, and I've got it on the iPad here, so I can forward it on to Dorothy right here, right now, live, in fact.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Technology, don't you love it?
I love it. Now, we're still waiting for questions to come in.
Oh, we've got a question, and it's a good one, because we probably need to talk about this. It's perfect timing. Thank you, Rebecca John. Daylight savings. How do you cope? Is there any strategies you should be putting in place? Because often we talk about this a little bit too close to the actual change of the clocks, and it's too late.
I'm pretty sort of like casual about daylight saving. Yeah. I look at daylight saving like I look at going into a different time change.
Time zone,
yeah, time zone. So if you go to a different time zone, it takes a day for every hour difference.
Okay.
So daylight saving's an hour, so it takes 1 day.
So really just 1 day to change the routine. Yeah.
And what happens is that when we change, everybody keeps in the old time.
Yeah.
So they think their babies are sleeping less or something.
Yeah.
So if you go overseas and you go to London, when you get to London, you're in English time.
Yeah.
When you come back to New Zealand, you're in New Zealand time.
Yeah.
And that's what daylight saving's like. One day it's this time, the next day it's a different time.
Yeah.
What I do concede is that what the issue I find is what time the sun rises and what time the sun sets.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the hardest thing to balance.
Yes.
I know it's an hour difference, and that's why it's happening, but that hour difference isn't the factor. It's the time the sun rises and the sun sets.
Yes. Okay, and so you've got your little baby who possibly doesn't really know what time it is.
No.
Quite a high chance they don't know what time it is.
No.
Is it tricky? Is it fair to say it's trickier with the older, your toddlers, your preschoolers, who are looking outside and going, but
absolutely,
it's still light, or in this case, it's going to be dark earlier. So is this going to be the easier one, maybe?
It's the easier one to go to bed at night because it's going to be darker.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the harder one in the morning because the sun rises earlier.
And they're going to wake up when the light first hits
absolutely.
the room.
So good blackout blinds.
Yeah.
Good protection against those windows, and they won't know the difference.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So I actually think this is the easier way around. I mean, even I struggle with
the spring one.
The spring one, because
you lose an hour's sleep.
Well, also, you know, you're sitting down and you're working, and the next thing I sort of look outside and go, oh, it's getting dark. Oh my gosh, it's that late.
Yeah.
And you've lost your whole evening because you've been in front of a computer.
Yeah.
So this way, I think it's a little bit better because nighttime comes quicker.
Yes, and we get ourselves to bed
quicker. A little bit quicker.
Would you suggest people spend the week leading up to daylight saving change slowly adjusting bedtime?
There's so many different ways of doing it. So you can start doing 15 minutes earlier and progressively get
for maybe 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, or you can stretch it out even longer if you're concerned about it.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you feel about it.
Yeah.
If you're going to talk about it a lot, then the school-age children actually start saying, oh, I can't go to bed yet, or blah, blah, because they're listening to adult talking.
Right,
okay? But you can take as long as you like by doing 15-minute increments.
Okay.
Or you can just do what I do, okay? And I just put them to bed. And the next day, if they wake up a little bit earlier or a little bit later, then I just slightly adjust by 15 minutes as the day goes on.
Yeah, okay. But not overthinking it.
Yeah, don't overthink it, for goodness sake.
All right,
yeah.
Good advice. Let's not overthink it. Okay, Jess is asking, can you talk about co-sleeping, like advice for co-sleeping with newborns? This is obviously quite a complex issue, almost would say contentious issue, but people have different thoughts on co-sleeping, and we're just going to ask you, what are your thoughts with a newborn and then with an older baby?
Okay, I can't see a problem. I absolutely can't see a problem. When I worked overseas, and I know people are going to start little arrows going up here, but 99% I co-slept, which meant that I was in the same room as a baby.
Yes. Okay, so let's define it for a moment.
So co-sleeping.
You're talking about sleeping in the same room.
Is in the same room.
Okay.
Bed sharing is what you want to talk about. It's about 97% of my babies.
Same bed.
Same bed.
Yeah.
And that was whether they were breast or bottle fed.
Yeah.
If you're going to share a bed with a baby, there are safety rules, like no duvets, no lots of pillows around.
Yeah.
People often ask me, how do you sleep with a baby?
Yeah.
I have to be honest, every baby that I had in a bed, I would sleep differently with.
Yes,
because they were different babies, so they sleep differently.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that you're happy with what you're doing and be positive about it.
Yeah.
But, there's so many articles out there, so many good articles out there about bed sharing versus so many negative. And unfortunately with parenting, there's always good.
Yes, good advice.
And bad advice.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what I would say to you is if it's what you want to do, and my advice is you don't drink alcohol, you don't take drugs, and just make sure, then if and don't go to sleep on a sofa with lots of cushions around so the baby slips down, not go between the cushions. Look at your bed, and make sure it's safe. And I know a lot of people that actually put the mattresses on the floor, so that they can safely co-sleep. Okay, so
to avoid any potential rollout.
Yep, and that's in particular with the toddlers.
Yeah.
So if I've got mums that are breastfeeding to sleep, and there's nothing wrong with breastfeeding to sleep, but all of a sudden and I've got about a few clients at the moment, they all want to give up. They're over it. Yeah. And they want instant gratification. They want it to change right there. Well, sadly, it can't. So I go from feeding to sleep to either holding to sleep or lying on a bed during the daytime for naps for sleeping. Yeah. Because you've got to do steps. You can't go from this to a cot. Yes. Yeah. It's too traumatic for everybody.
Yeah. Would you recommend various products for bed sharing, like
the pods,
the attached little bassinet islands?
If you've got one of those little beds that attach, you're not really bed sharing because they're in their space.
They're in their own space. Yeah.
There's great, and I've got one at home. It's a small one, so it's like for a doll. It's the flax basket. And I know I'm not going to pronounce it, but what are they called? I can't think what they're called, but they're awesome. Yeah. And really great because you can put it in the centre of you. Yeah. There's also ones that you can buy as well that are pods, and they're actually little tiny beds that you can actually put on the bed in between you that protects the baby. Yeah.
But obviously just keeping safety in mind, keeping anything away from baby that could
absolutely.
pose a suffocation risk.
And the other thing I sometimes use, which I don't really use a lot of because there's no safety standards for them, is I sometimes would put a Moses basket on the bed and put the baby in because you can put the hand. Or, you know, I will pull the cradle or the bassinet up close if I'm using one. But you can do the same with the cot as well, with the little newbornies. You don't actually have to have something that's...
Have a special product.
No, you don't.
Good, very good. And if you've got any other specific questions, feel free to send them through. Sheena asks, my 6.5-month-old slept through the night for a couple of months. Each week he now wakes overnight once. I can get him back to sleep, but he screams the house down as I try to put him back to sleep. If I feed him, he continues to wake every night. Why doesn't he sleep through the night continuously anymore? Regression. Got some regression happening.
Progression.
But he used to sleep through the night and now he doesn't.
Yeah, but he's growing. He needs more food.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, let's have a look at it.
Yeah.
And also he's probably, by the sounds of it, let's look at him as being a breastfed baby.
Yeah.
The gastric emptying of a breastfed baby after 120 minutes is 16 to 18%.
Yeah.
So first of all, if they start waking up more in the nighttime, I look at the daytime.
Yeah.
How do they fall asleep for their naps? How do you put them to sleep for nighttime?
Yeah.
At 6.5 months, ideally, his wake cycles are around 3 hours. Yeah. And having 2 naps of a minimum of an hour and a half.
Yeah.
What are you doing in those wake cycles? Is he waking? Is he having solids and milk? And then playing and having milk and going down for a nap? Is he having milk then solids, playing milk and then bed? So what foods is he eating? So when you're doing solids, there's lots of foods that can or may contribute to night waking. That's processed sugars, fruit, because we're overloading fruit. Now we take processed sugars out. And cheese and yogurt. So you've got to have a look at their diet and have a look at how you're self-settling. Because how you're self-settling, is he catnapping? If he's catnapping, doesn't know how to resettle. He's growing. The brain's growing, the eyesight's getting stronger. So they're progressive milestones that are happening.
Such a good point, because we're quick to say, regression. He used to be able to do something and now he can't. But what you're saying is it's developmental. He is progressing with his development. Consequently, it is affecting sleep. So
and ladies,
almost like progress.
And now we've got so many of these. And I'm not going to get all the ages right. 4 months. I think it's 8 to 10 months. 12 months, 18 months, and 2 years. So welcome to the world of parenting.
Where you can expect a progressive shift.
Yes.
Oh, exciting. Never a dull moment in parenting.
No.
Tell you what, you think you've got a routine fairly well nailed, and then changes.
Parenting is a lifelong journey.
It is, isn't it?
Yep. And parenting to sleep is part of that. And also your parents are still parenting you.
Sometimes,
Yes, they are.
Sometimes
I bet you, Mum. It goes both ways.
No, that's true. That's true. I'd be lost without my parents. Here's another question from Olivia. What's your take on using dummies? My 11-week-old daughter will take one, and it helps her fall asleep and can help her to resettle. But sometimes it can be the thing that makes her wake at the 45-minute mark. And sometimes she's not so worried that it's fallen out and will keep napping. So she's not desperate for the dummy, but... what are your thoughts there?
Dummies were designed for newborn babies. I've taught babies to suck using a dummy. So babies who won't feed from a bottle or a boob because they don't know how to suck, we start with something that they can latch onto, which is a dummy. Dummies are great for reflux and colicky babies or babies that are really sucky. Now what we all tend to do though is we finish feeding our baby, we swallow them, and then we plug them with a dummy and put them in the cot to go to sleep. What my advice is to hold back a little bit. Let them talk to you with it in arms or with you touching or you in the room. Let them talk to you. Let them tell them your story. So at 11 weeks, I would probably be giving the dummy around anywhere from the 5 to 10 minute mark. That doesn't mean
so you give them 5 or 10 minutes to settle themselves.
Either in arms, hands on, or you're in the room. And then after that, I would, when I'm doing a comfort side of the settling, I would give them the dummy. So they're not actually sucking straight away to try and fall asleep. Babies don't have the tools on board until between 12 to 16 weeks to self-soothe or resettle. So she's doing pretty well.
Okay, so good. And we're actually talking about this in the autumn issue.
Yes, we are.
Now. Here's one I've got right here. Shameless plug. But in there we talked about dummies a little bit. You answered someone's question, and basically you were saying, let's not stress about it too much. It is a tool for helping with sleep. But not to plug.
Not to plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as they get older, you don't want them wandering around the house with dummy. A dummy is for in the cot.
Yeah, see, we're getting really good because it's just what I was about to say.
I listen very carefully to everything Dorothy says. Yeah.
So from 6 months on, if they've got dummies, they stay in the cot. They're for comforting. They're like the comfort toys. They stay in the cot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So around the 6 month mark is when baby will be really quite aware
of what's
happening, whether they've got their dummy with them or not.
Yep.
So that's a good time to start teaching them.
Yeah.
It stays in the cot.
I had a 3-year-old who's now qualified as a doctor, happily married in the UK.
Yeah.
She was quite sick. She had 3 dummies at the age of 3.
Yeah.
And they'd go under her. No, sorry, she would have 3 dummies when she was a baby. But when she was 3 years old, she still had a dummy. It went under her pillow when she got up. Yeah. If she ever needed it in the daytime, she went and sat on the bed, which was I never saw her do that.
Yeah, right.
But when she went to bed at night, it was there. Nobody anyone who knew the family didn't realise that this little person had a dummy.
Yeah. But it was their comfort thing.
Yeah. And for the older babies, if you've got thumb suckers or dummy suckers and you're told to get rid of them, think carefully.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like if I came...
It's really hard to get rid of the thumb.
Yeah. You can't get that. No. It's all the time.
It's illegal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you get told to take away those 2 things, I'm going to say to you, or my best advice is, stop and think.
Yeah.
If I came in and took your iPad or your phone or your computer away, or that cup of coffee, your comfort thing away from you, how would you feel? Yeah. And that's how these babies and toddlers feel.
I actually sucked my thumb for a long time.
It doesn't matter.
Not going to say how long, but I remember that feeling of being told, take my thumb out of my mouth, and it was traumatic. Yeah. And then one day I just thought, no, I don't need to do that anymore, and I stopped.
Yeah.
I was 27. No, just kidding.
No.
I wasn't.
You were about 11, weren't you?
Yeah. And look at me. Look at me. I turned out okay.
This is it. What I say to the older thumb suckers, and I don't but if we're walking along the road and I just take their hand out. Yeah. Or I might say, oh, can you unplug? Yeah. Because they know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And they go, how do you know? Especially if I'm driving.
Keep them chatting so that they have to unplug. Good. Okay, got another question. From Jess, how do you recommend putting a 2-year-old on a schedule for sleep after they're moving from the crib to the single bed?
Well, there's no difference because if they're in the crib and I'm moving to a single bed, if they're in sleeping bags, I leave them in sleeping bags because it's no different.
Keep it quite consistent.
Yeah, keep it consistent. I make sure that their room is childproof.
Yes, good point.
So they can't open drawers, they can't open doors, they can't get fingers stuck. Put away all the toys because it's a sleeping room. And I just do the same thing. If they hop out of bed, well, it doesn't matter if they fall asleep on the floor.
No.
Okay? As long as they're not in their room screaming, but they're doing exactly what they would have done in a cot, then perfectly fine. You can put a side rail up. And the side rail can be either like what do you call them? One of those foam roll things. Yeah. Like a noodle. Yep. You can get side noodles. You can get net things. If you can't afford any of those, what I do is I get pillows and I put them in between the base of the mattress and the mattress, because then it's uphill, and I put the cot mattress on the floor to avoid them falling. But just make their room safe and don't overthink everything. And
I was so surprised when my toddlers, figured out how to sleep in a bed. I thought it seemed impossible, but they just figured it out. Yeah. They're like, this is where I sleep now.
Yeah, and if they have got their sleeping bags on, some of them can walk in them, but it's the same principle. They'll walk around the room. Yeah. They'll play.
And if you have a mattress on the floor, if they decide to kip down there, then
doesn't matter.
So be it. And
but just be aware, a lot of them fall asleep behind the door if you shut their bedroom door.
That did happen.
So if you're going in to check, just open that door very carefully.
Yeah. That did happen. Yeah. But only once, and then I think the next night it was asleep in the middle of the room. Yeah. I think the third night asleep at the foot of the bed, and then from then on just the bed.
Yeah. It's a new experience, and if we overthink things, then it makes an issue. It's a little bit like people say, how do you put a baby from a bassinet to into a cot? I pick up the bassinet, I put it in the cupboard, and put the baby in the cot.
Yes. Okay. You just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah. All good. Okay, question about how do you stop the habit, I guess, of feeding a baby to sleep. It seems he could be waking as I feed to sleep now, and he goes to bed in light sleep, but not in a deep sleep.
You haven't mentioned how old he is, but I have about quite a few steps. Yeah. Because parenting isn't a quick fix. You can't do anything in 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
If you're going to put him in a cot and let him cry it out, that's your choice.
Yeah.
Okay? How you parent is your choice, and there's many different ways.
Yeah.
The sort of the road I like to take is that you're feeding to sleep.
Yeah.
So then you feed to drowsy, and then pop the nipple
up.
up.
What sounds like what Sheena's doing. She is, because I've heard you say this, feed and then do the sleeping bag so that they're not completely asleep. They're actually
that's about the
awake while you do that.
5th step though.
Okay.
So feed to sleep.
Jump the gun.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. Feed to sleep, then you feed to drowsy.
Okay.
Then you feed to drowsy and put the sleeping bag on and hold to sleep.
Yeah.
Then you feed, put the sleeping bag on, hold to sleep.
Yeah.
Then you feed sleeping bag in the cot and touch.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you start the cot settling after that.
So you're just gradually withdrawing a little bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're because you're feeding to sleep.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your babies to cry.
Yeah.
But there's no such thing as a no cry sleep solution, sadly.
Yeah.
Because that's how they communicate.
Yeah.
So it's got to do it slowly so we don't undo all that beautiful nurturing you've done.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Good point.
So it depends. If they're older, then I just go from, let's say, like a 2-year-old, or I feed, or even, like a 12-month onwards. I feed to as much as they want. Try not to let them go to sleep. Then I lie on the bed next to them and just hold them.
Yeah.
Put my hands over them, let them sleep on the mattress.
Yeah.
And let them find their own sleep.
Yeah. I think it was because the questions disappear.
It does. I know.
I think this was the 6.5-month-old.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's all good advice. It's a process and taking it in stages. And this could be helpful reminder that you can watch these videos again if you missed something and you wanted to go back and hear. If I interrupted Dorothy or said something wrong and you wanted to just clarify, you can watch these videos again on our website, on OHbaby website, or you can look on our Facebook page, and they stick around.
And the best thing is that there's no wrong or right way to parent. There's easy and hard ways.
That's right, yeah.
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 And the best thing about parenting is you can't fail.
Can't fail. You can, you can always got another day tomorrow to
it's another
try
day.
Again.
Yeah. And every step when you do something, when you're changing something, I do a step for a minimum of 10 days.
Right.
The first 3 to 4 days are normally days from hell.
Yeah, tricky days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tricky. Sorry, everyone. I was trying to think of a word.
Just be encouraging.
Yeah. A lot of us give up on day 2. I do. I'm a human being. I don't ask parents to do anything that I'm not prepared to do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But at some stage, we've got to get through to day 10 because being a parent, you're kind of like a teacher. You're like a support person.
Yeah. And just to show how good I've been listening, Dorothy talks about consistency. Oh, she talks about, no, I haven't been listening that way.
Okay,
tact. Time, acceptance, consistency, and touch.
And consistency is 80%, not 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that 10 day, have in mind that 10 days to change something, being consistent for 80% of that time.
Not 100%.
No, it's
you've got to get out, you've got to do your walking, you've got to have a life.
Got to have a life, yeah. Good. But yeah, just bearing in mind it takes time. It's got to be encouraged in some way, haven't we? I'm just looking to see if we've got another question. It just takes a little while for the iPad to
flick
refresh and flick in.
Well, it also takes a minimum of 6 weeks to change the circadian rhythm.
Okay.
So nothing happens overnight.
Yes.
And also, like I get inquiries where people are feeding to sleep.
Yeah.
And they want you to come in and do sleep training.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come and sleep train your baby because your baby doesn't know me.
Yeah.
And secondly, you got into that pickle, not me.
Yeah.
So I can support you. I can give you the tools.
Give you the tools and the stages to
and support you through it. But you get a bigger buzz when you get to the other end.
Yeah.
And I could come in and do it.
Yeah.
But then I walk out of your home and it's back to square one.
Yeah.
So it's about looking at how we parent.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to accomplish.
Yes.
You know, it's really, and it's about trying to we know we can do it. You are your baby expert. You are your baby whisperer, not me.
That's what Dorothy says. Yeah. You've got a lot of experience, but we as parents are actually our own baby's expert, and such good advice, Dorothy. So encouraging.
Oh, look, there's more coming up.
Here comes a question, which is perfectly timed, probably, for our last question. We are moving house in a few months, says Kylie, and I was thinking of putting my toddler in a single bed at the new house. Would this be too much change at once? Good question.
Depending on the type of toddler you have, but a lot of people actually do that. They get the toddler involved in, depending again how old the toddler is, but set the toddler's room up with their favourite character as well. Because you can put those, peel on, peel off things and make it look friendly. And just go for it.
So you're saying not necessarily too much change then to move a toddler to a new address, and when you get there go, hey, now you're sleeping in this.
Oh, I wouldn't even say that. I'd just walk in and say, this is your bedroom.
Yeah, wow.
You know, your who. Big boy or big girl bedroom or something like that. As long as that cot isn't going to go into a baby's room and be set up straight away.
Okay, right.
So the cot's not got to be around for a few months.
The cot needs to be out of sight.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. Yep.
So possibly a good time then if you are moving around the time of transitioning from cot to bed.
Yeah, we left the baby bed at the old house.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Yeah.
Would you ever, if there was a really strong reaction to the cot from the child, would you ever go back to the
I would
cot, or would you just persevere?
Depending what the reaction was. Yeah. But I wouldn't want to change the toddler into a bed unless they were ready. So I've got somebody asking me for about a 2.5, 3-year-old. Yeah. They want the cot for the younger baby, but this one doesn't want to move out of their cot. And I go, well, we'll leave them. Yeah. She can stay there till she's 5. It doesn't matter. Yeah. If she's happy and contented, she'll tell you when she's ready to move to the big bed.
Yeah. But, or if they're like my children, she'll climb out of the cot.
Yeah, then that's a different...
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. There's reasons why we move out of cots. Yes. But there are some children that just love their beds. Yeah. And they love their cots. And they don't mind being on a little tiny mattress. There's others that climb out, so they need a bigger bed.
And then dangerous with the whole
and then
climbing
there's others that want more space. Yeah. And I'm finding nowadays that a lot of babies don't like cot bars around them. Yeah. You know?
They just want some space and some freedom. Fair enough. We all like our space, don't we?
Yeah. So they're all different. So it does depend on what your toddler's personality is like to what I would do.
Yeah, very good. Very good advice. Thank you for joining us this morning, Dorothy.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's always such a pleasure to have Dorothy Waide with us. And remember, you can ask Dorothy a question at any time by going to ohbaby.co.nz/ask-our-experts, and we make sure that gets to Dorothy and she comes back to you with a very thorough reply. Dorothy is amazing like that.
Yes, and we do answer questions that come in this time frame. Yes. And before I forget, which I must remind everybody, the 8th of May.
8th of May.
We have our next workshop, the Essential Baby Help Workshop with Adela, who's a holistic chiropractor in St Heliers Community Centre.
Yes. And tickets you can find out about that on Dorothy's website, babyhelp.co.nz. babyhelp.co.nz. If you need any more help, go to Baby Help. It's a great website.
Thank you.
Great resources on there. And final plug, Autumn Issue is coming at you. Monday it's in store. If you're a subscriber, you should be getting your copy any minute now. And if you're not a subscriber, then this is a good chance to subscribe, because we've got amazing goodies for subscribers up for grabs. And of course, our golden ticket. Every issue sold gets you a chance to enter our golden ticket competition. You get a unique code, enter it on our website, and see if you've won a goodie. If you don't win something the first time, but wait, there's more, you go into the second chance draw. So it's well worth keeping an eye out for your unique code. It's hard to say quickly.
I know, unique code.
And entering it at ohbaby.co.nz/golden ticket.
Fantastic.
How
good luck, everyone.
How exciting is that? Good luck, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Friday Live this morning. We'll see you again next time.
Bye, everyone.